Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Time with Rella podcast. Now, today we have a very fantastic guest on the podcast. We are going to be talking about love. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Ivy. Thank you. I what do I do? To be fair, I did study engineering, but that's not what I'm getting into. I'm trying to get more into the event space, particularly in the music industry. But as of now, I'm kind of like open to everything. But yeah, I love like organizing events, so that's pretty much what I do right now. And I'm excited to talk about love. That's like my favorite thing to talk about. So. Mhm.
Yay. Okay. Stay tuned. Hi, friends. So, I'm interrupting this episode to appreciate you for tuning into the Time with Vella podcast and apologize for the poor audio quality. This is because all our episodes with guests are done remotely, but we promise you a better audio quality in the future. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the episode. Okay, so what would you like us to start from? Let me see. What is your favorite book about love currently?
That is interesting. I haven't read a lot, to be honest. I've actually only read two. I've read All About Love, which I absolutely love, and
Okay.
also Conversations on Love. I'm not
Oh,
yet
I
done.
think I think that's what you shared with me, right?
Yes, that's the one I shared with you. I think I
Yeah.
really like Conversations on Love just because it kind of it talks about different aspects in a sense. Not that All About Love doesn't, but there's something about Conversations on Love that is from very different perspectives. So about from friendships to being a parent and all of that. So I think I really like that about Conversations on Love. So
Okay. So, okay, generally, yeah. What does love mean to you?
oh my goodness, what does love mean to me? I would say love for me is thoughtfulness and consideration. I think
Okay.
I would say that's what love is to me. What would you say love is to you?
The same thing. To be honest, like for like how we grew up in Nigeria, basically. I grew up in Nigeria, and then you see the way love is thought of or expressed. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I think grow like living that space number one and being by myself has shown me a different understanding of what love looks like. Do you get it? Same way you say consideration, I find that very important because I feel even as women, yeah, it's a lot for us. Do you understand? When it
Yeah.
comes to certain things like
Mm-hmm.
consideration, yeah, for someone to consider me, it means they are thinking of my well being. They won't put
Mm-hmm.
me in a situation whereby I feel unsafe. Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I think consideration, because there are certain decisions that one person can make that can affect you in different ways, your safety,
Mm-hmm.
physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah. I think
Mm-hmm.
love is also for me intention, like being intentional about it. Is like I know
Mm-hmm.
people have this assumption that love is a feeling, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are different things you feel, yeah.
Yeah.
But that intention is like you're choosing to love me. And
Mm-hmm.
choosing to love me is like you you've seen me, do you get? You understand things
Yeah.
about me. You know how to love me and you want to learn how to love me. That is
Mm-hmm.
what like I feel consideration, being intentional, kindness.
Mm-hmm.
I you know like okay, when I was going through depression, yeah, one of the things that
Yeah.
got me out of depression, the main thing was kindness. That was the first thing I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn, how to be
Mm-hmm.
kind to myself. And I feel like if if I'm not kind to myself, yeah, I cannot be kind to another person. That's the same way
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even for all like the three things I just mentioned, kindness, being intentional and like consideration. Anyone that doesn't consider themselves or isn't kind to themselves or isn't
Mm,
intentional about themselves, I don't think that they can do that for me. So for
mm,
now, I say that's what like love is for me. Yeah.
mm.
And
I
honesty
was,
to an extent.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I was even going to talk about like the intentionality part because you did say like a
Okay.
lot of people think that love is a feeling, but I think
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's possible to love without being intentional. You know what I mean? Because loving
True.
is not an easy thing, like because it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to let your ego get the better of you and your
Yep.
emotions and everything. So it's you have to be very intentional when it comes to loving people, honestly. But also talking about because you did mention that you don't think people can be kind to you if they're not kind to themselves.
Yes.
But I feel like, because I also hear people say, like, people that don't love themselves can't love you. And I agree with that to an
Mm-hmm.
extent. But I often find that there are people who, because I feel like even with ourselves, like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we have these negative thoughts about ourselves. We say all these negative things about ourselves, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't often say that about the people that we love. So I feel like to an
Hmm.
extent, there are parts of love that we might not offer to ourselves, but it's easier, or at least it's easier for us to offer to people that we care about and that we love in our lives than it is to offer to ourselves. So that's why
True.
I'm
I
like,
do
I
know,
feel like
like
I'm kind of 50.
I know I like what you said here because
Mm,
you described me from years ago.
mm,
And why that I think that yeah, sometimes people say that if they cannot love themselves, they cannot love you. Yeah. And even in those times, like I feel like okay, this is even the best time to really explain this. Even in those times, yeah, that they were loving things about people, yeah.
mm,
To an extent, I agree with exactly what you're saying. And I think there's also another part, yeah,
okay.
of self validation. Let me explain.
Mm,
When I did not love myself, yeah, I used that energy to focus on other people, giving them the
mm,
love that I never gave to myself. But in
mm,
return, when they loved me back, that was my validation that I was to an
mm,
extent good. Do you get? So to me,
mm,
there's a bit of self interest there. And
mm,
then we like okay, using that as an example, yeah. You see that when you find people that I know we are taught to be kind to everybody, yeah.
yeah.
But when we were growing up, for me, I know that we don't get this we don't see it, and also we don't get this education that we need to show this to ourselves.
Mm,
What we kept well, like what I kept doing was doing it to people for them to tell
mm-hmm,
me that I am good. Do you get?
mm-hmm,
Or for them to
mm-hmm,
validate me. And that's why I think
mm-hmm,
that to an extent is a lot of
mm,
self-interest, which is not really love. And then
mm,
there's one I thought of now, which is I tweet about love a lot, yeah. But do you know one
mm.
thing I avoid saying is
No.
speak to yourself the way you speak to somebody you love.
Mm,
Because I have seen the way people treat, like some people, the way they treat the people they love. That is not
mm,
love. That is it
yes.
becomes a lot of meanness and negativity. So me, I actually avoid saying that when I'm very conscious about like I avoid it because I know that maybe we might say we love this person, yeah.
Mm,
But when we take a look at how people treat the people that they love, you see it's a
mm,
level of unhealthy, even when they even refer to as how mothers' loves are unconditional. Yeah. I
mm,
feel there's a level of unhealthiness there, if we are being
mm.
honest. People like to say
No.
your parents' love for you is unconditional. But if you actually look at the quality of some of the love they show to you
Mm,
see a lot of self-interest, number one. You see a lot of toxic and negative like behaviors or attitude. I mean, you remember when they used to pass beating children as it means you love them. Well, you're
mm.
traumatizing a child. Do you get for me? That's the
Mm,
other part that I agree with you. And but like, and there's that other part of like the self interest that I feel like people get from it.
mhm. No, I think definitely there is a limit to how we can love people when we do not love themselves for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And even like going back to the thing about how people talk to people, I think one thing that this year decided to be more intentional about and also insist in my friendships and relationships with people is that
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be that person that talks like just because I'm hurt and upset at you, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to have to speak to you in a certain way just to
True.
express it. Right? Because for me, it's just like I never want people that I love to doubt for any second that I love them. So it's like even when
True.
I'm mad at you, when I'm upset at you, like you should never doubt that in this moment, yes, I'm upset at you, but in this moment, there's
Mm-hmm.
no doubt in your mind that I love you still, and which obviously
True.
goes back to how we talk to people when when we're upset at them or mad at them or whatever. And it's just like if I
That's true.
have to be mean to you for you to understand how much you hurt me, then that's just a sign that you shouldn't be in my life. You know what I mean?
That's yeah, I get you. I have a question, yeah.
Mm,
With this choice, like this thing you have said now, like you choosing to tell people around you this, did you have
mm.
like a history of where uncontrollable anger or like in the state of anger where you say hurtful things to people?
100%, my goodness. Like in my previous relationships,
Oh wow.
my previous relationships, I think it reached
Mm-hmm.
a point where because I wasn't feeling heard, I used to raise my
Yeah.
voice, or I
That's
would let my
thank you.
anger get the best of me, and I would
Do
just
you
say
know?
things that I would feel ashamed about after. So
Hmm.
it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't want that in my life anymore. Yeah.
Yes. I feel you. Do you know, like what you just said is exactly for me? Yeah, I think when I was way younger, I used to be
Mm,
that way with anger. Like when I'm angry, I can blot out anything. But
mm,
I feel like I wasn't educated on how to handle my emotions. Number one, yeah. But there was a lot of shaming for each time that I got angry. So instead
mm,
of expressing it that way now, I just used to go like the silent treatment, quiet. Do you
mm,
get? Because I
mm,
have been told that I should keep quiet when I'm angry. I say hurtful things. Do you
mm,
understand? That doesn't help. Like
mm,
telling someone to be quiet, that doesn't help. It's just you about educating the person on these are better ways to deal with anger. Instead of that's not you being mute like I used to do with silent treatment. I'll be so quiet. Do you know? Like I even had a situation whereby I I wasn't feeling heard, like in that, and I raised my voice. Do you get? And the person is
mm.
like, "Why are you shouting at me?" And you know, like that just brought me back. Like, yo, it means you are not listening.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then I like you said, I really don't want that anymore. I don't want
Mm,
to be in a situation whereby it feels like you're talking to a wall,
mhm,
basically, and they still go like keep going back to the same thing. Okay,
mhm.
so like, now let me share this thing with you. Yeah, if
Okay.
you listen to most of this monk talk about love, yeah, like
Mm,
someone like Sadhguru or TikTok Han, most of these people they talk about
mm,
how love and relationship are not the same thing. Yeah,
mm, mm.
but before I even continue, the the topic focus here is love enough? What do you have to say about that?
You know what is so interesting? Because
You
I
what?
remember we had this conversation
Yes.
on Twitter, and I said that
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's enough, and I still
Okay.
agree, but I think
Okay.
that it's more nuanced than than just being like love is not enough. I feel because
Okay.
I feel like yes, love is not necessarily enough because I think compatibility also like matters in your relationships.
Hmm.
But I think that at the same time, I feel like because I was having this conversation with my friend before, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people often have people in their lives that they love but seem to stress them out a lot because they're just not compatible. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times that compatibility has to do with our trauma all through life from
Sure.
childhood up until now. And I feel like there are people in your life that you decide, okay, I love this person, so I'm going to be patient with them. So
Okay.
I think in that sense, love is what becomes enough for you to decide you want to be patient. And obviously, you deciding to be patient also means that this
Hmm.
person is also putting in an effort to make it
Okay.
worthwhile, if that makes sense, right? So I don't know
Wait, I
if
get what.
this.
No, like it makes sense totally. Oh,
Okay.
so yeah. From your explanation, yeah.
Mm,
About if love is enough. Coming from
mm.
that angle, doesn't it still feel like we are talking about love as feeling?
I. Why do you say so?
Okay. Like, okay, when people say love is not enough for them, yeah,
Mm,
I can, and the examples they give, I kind of see
mm,
like they are looking at love as a feeling. I feel that
mm-hmm,
you can love people, yeah,
mm.
and you can still choose to do whatever you want to do. Love in
Okay.
itself, for me, I don't know, from the meaning of like how I tend to look at it and see it, I feel
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm on the side that okay, love is enough, but let me explain. Now, so I started talking about this that when you
Sorry,
listen to people,
sorry.
they.
Before
Mhm.
you, okay, we're talking about love in enough in the context of making friendships and relationships work, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes, please. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
so I was explaining about how like I listen to the monks and all these people talk about love, yeah, and
mm-hmm.
how they don't explain love and relationship as the same thing. Do you get?
Okay.
They
Yeah.
tell you that love in itself is love, which is like you don't need people to feel love or to express love. What
Mm-hmm,
we have is a relationship with other people. So for me, that's how I see it. And they tell you that to love is like to see like the completeness of everything, both the good and the bad. Like you
yeah.
explained, like you can choose to love somebody and be patient with them, yeah? So for
Mm-hmm,
me, yeah, I think love can be enough and still you will not be compatible. I
mm-hmm,
don't know if that
mm.
makes sense. But for
Oh, okay. I
me,
see what you mean.
yes, like for me as a person, love is enough. It's love that inspires everything I do. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm,
I don't seek anything from it. But for me to have a relationship with people, it won't just be like me only choosing to love you. Do you
mm-hmm,
understand? I have to look
mm-hmm,
at, can I trust you? Like, not,
mm-hmm.
let's just say, like, I don't know if I'm starting to sound, but I'm saying that in my essence, yeah, I will love you
Mm-hmm.
regardless. But
Yeah.
to be in a relationship with you, there are also things I am going to look at. You mentioned compatibility. Yes. You mentioned trust. I need to know if I can trust you. In my essence, like, fine, love is not something I think is a give and take. But there are other
Yes.
things that need to qualify me to be in a relationship with you. Even friendship. You can like show love to anybody because that's coming from you. Do you
Okay,
understand?
so
For me, yeah.
essentially, I feel like what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, at least how I interpret it, is that at the end of the day, having
Mm-hmm.
a relationship has less to do with love and more to do with other things.
I think it's yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. Everything. You choosing to love them, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you have to also look at other things. Because
Mm-hmm.
they say these things that we decide who we want to love and who we want to receive love from. And that's why I even when I was younger, yeah, it used to piss me off when people used to tell me you can love somebody and not want to spend the rest of your life with them. But now that I'm older, I said yes, it's true. But then it sounds very painful to hear it. But
Yeah.
when you experience people, you be like, I love you, but no.
Mm. But it's
Love
not.
doesn't mean because you can still love people and they will pass. That doesn't take away the
Yes,
love. Yes, they will pass. That doesn't mean
100%.
yes, that doesn't mean the love has disappeared. And that's when people break up, yeah. And there was someone that tweeted something yesterday about not being able to text somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
think I saw the reply.
yes, I'm
First, someone was like, "You should text them and let them
but
show you they don't care."
yes, then when you receive disrespect enough,
Mm.
I was like, why are people so mean? I feel like it is in this place that we think that when things end, we are supposed to completely like forget about a person, but that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you are grieving, because this is also grieving too. When you are grieving
Yeah.
a loss of the love doesn't disappear. You don't forget about them. It's just that you are going to learn how to live without
Yeah.
people.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
that's
want to say that I do
mm-hmm.
not necessarily disagree with that person's reply, just because I feel like
Yeah, I
even
don't
for me,
disagree. Just mean
fair- because I feel like even for me, I feel like for a lot of human beings, I think it's when
experience.
people show us madness in time, and like, okay, then we pop
Hmm.
out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
I get you. I feel that we why I was like there are so many is that I feel we need to get to the point that where we don't need to see shaggy before we choose ourselves. You know that I was sitting down next like I saw someone recently and I'm like, oh, this boy is fine, yeah. But there were
mm,
several things that kicked in inside me, and I said,
mm,
nah, it's not going to work out. This is not like this
mm,
person. This person is a good person, but
mm,
in some areas, I'm not even talking about. It's not those misogyny and all that. That is out. That was not even part. He's not. But I was looking at some areas of some other beliefs. I'm like, nah, it's not going to work out.
so my
I don't
question,
need to.
my
Mm-hmm.
No, I get what you
Yeah.
mean, but I do have a question. So
Okay.
do you then think, because we've spoken about love and relationships
Mm-hmm.
and compatibility, so I
Yeah.
guess my question for you is, do you think that people can, because they love each other, they can decide to work towards compatibility? Do you think that is something that's possible?
Hmm. Okay. I like that your question. I think yeah that there is for me. I've come to maybe open up my beliefs that I don't think there's somebody that is ready made for you.
Mm,
The best people you can meet are people that, as you are working on your own self, yeah, they are working on
mm,
their own selves too.
mm,
And yeah, I mean, if there is a common ground that you all like, you both meet, that you know
mm.
what. I mean, there are some things that are irreplaceable. Or there are some things that no, nah, this one there we can't do without it.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that one, but the other ones that you can work on, I think
Mm,
yes. And that would take you people completely being honest. Like if I meet that person that is ready, good. Do you understand?
mm,
But it would take
mm,
like them not having ego. Not having ego, everybody has ego, but not being controlled by ego. They are ready to learn to be a student. The
mm,
same way you two, you are
mm.
ready to be a student. I think
Yeah.
anything can happen. That's what me I think.
Mm.
Because I think
Mm.
for a long time we've all believed in all this their uh oh, my soulmates, my soul, this thing. So whereby anybody that crosses their path, people are just looking for who checks, or like who is already ready made, do you get, who checks all their boxes. But I feel like at some point everybody is still working
Towards change.
on themselves. Yes. Like really.
I don't think it's impossible for people to find soulmates too at the same time.
Oh
But
yeah.
I
I think
think
the
that
soulmate word is
for
limited.
fair
I
enough,
feel like
fair
their
enough.
understanding of soulmates is limited to even just
Mm,
romantic relationships.
mm, mm.
Soulmates
Oh no,
are
the
let's
people that I've
let
regarded as my soulmates are my
Mhm.
friends. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and
For
I
me,
think
these are the people, yeah.
sorry, sorry to cut you short, but I was going to say, and I think that especially
Mm-hmm.
women that are attracted to men, unfortunately, I
Mm-hmm.
think that it is like the chances of you finding a soulmate in a man is very. Do you understand what I mean? Because
I get what you mean.
you're with a
I
man and the
understand.
man deciding to love you is also on that. Like you said, we spoke about understanding and safe spaces. It also
Mm-hmm.
comes with understanding how the world is against you as a woman, and a lot of
Yes.
men aren't willing to be honest about that
And
and
that's
how
consideration.
exactly. So it's like the chances that you find a soulmate in a man is very low. Like, but yeah.
But but from even what I'm saying about soulmates here, that means my
Mm,
own definition of soulmate to be people that are willing to see life from your point of view. people that get you,
Mm.
like your friends. If
Mhm.
you can find that in a man, I wish everybody luck. I mean, in this our society, I wish everybody luck because you can just be saying, "Oh, this is my soulmate," and then he just one misogynistic bomb. You be like, "How? How did I miss
Mhm.
this?"
Mhm.
But
It's very
okay,
scary.
it's very scary. I'm not joking. It's very scary. Okay, but so far, yeah, what has been your experience with romantic relationships? What didn't you know then that you know now?
Huh, that's an interesting question. Well, I have to think about that. But one thing I would say, I think
Mm-hmm.
that for the longest time, I never considered compatibility going into
Okay.
relationships.
Okay.
Um,
When you
I
say
I think
compatibility, please explain. Like, give us an example.
like Like for instance, I'm the first person I dated in uni was very, very
Mm-hmm.
different from me emotionally wise. Right? It's like I'm a very expressive person. I like to talk about my feelings,
Okay.
whereas they were not that type of person. And which again, like we spoke about, like sometimes you find people that you both love each other and you're willing to put in the work to get to a point where, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you are happy. But it was one of those things where so I don't think compatibility might even necessarily be the issue so much as are you both willing to work towards being in a
Yes.
place where you can compatible? Because with this person that I dated in university, it was very every time I want to talk about it, they would be like, "Oh, that's just how I am. That's just how I am," and obviously it got
Hmm.
frustrating. So I think that now I would also take my time because honestly, I'm very much the person that listen 2 months. Less than 2 months, even I'm ready to be this a month after. I'm like, yes, we're in a relationship, we're ready, you know. But I think that I'm getting used to taking my time to get in. Like, there's no rush.
Okay.
Um, because as much as there are a lot of things that you would learn and grow together in a relationship, I think that it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to also take that time to work towards being in a place where you guys both decide, okay, I think we can give a relationship a try. So I think
Okay.
just like the concept of taking my time and truly understanding who we both are and seeing if we're both willing to put in the work and the effort to
Mm-hmm.
being in a space where we can both be happy in a relationship. So, but yeah, how about you?
I really like that. You're saying
Well, no, I was just gonna ask what about you? What's something that you didn't know then but you know now?
that loving myself was important.
Mm.
I didn't think I didn't think I didn't think it was important. I know it sounds I don't know if this sounds sad to anybody, but that's the truth.
Mm.
I didn't learn that loving myself was important because I saw that from the women around me, women I grew up with.
Mm. Mm.
Everything I saw them do did not show that they loved themselves. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I didn't
Mm.
think loving myself was important. So that's why I said that if I can't, like, I'm not saying that maybe for my past relationships, I didn't love them more. Maybe I
Mm.
did, but also I didn't love myself. So maybe I don't think it was genuine. Do you get? I mean, we will
Mm.
have strong feelings and all that, but the things that I feel one thing I did was I kept jumping from one relationship to another, seeking seeking the validation to love myself. Do you get it?
Mm.
So even right from the first person I liked, that boy showed me shaggy, and I stood
Okay.
there taking it. See, and I promise you, yeah, all the mean things did not stop me from thinking I loved this boy so much.
Mm. Mm.
When people have done nonsense for love, if you're writing the for this so-called love in quotes, if you're writing
Mm.
names of people, you will include my name there because I've done nonsense. So
We
like
all know, haven't we all?
see trenches so but yeah, true. I mean, and that one I didn't know. I just kept jumping from one relationship. But you know
Mm.
when people are showing you the same thing, then that's
Mm.
a problem. It's not necessarily about, I mean, they will have their own shit. I mean, they didn't
Mm.
have to be mean to me or like show me shit in that extent. But I, even going through depression, I had to face myself that, nah, there's something definitely wrong somewhere. and I had to
Mm,
learn to love myself, basically. And it started with kindness. So that was one thing that I didn't find important. And one thing I'll also say is that it is important. One thing I didn't know was that I needed to consider myself. Do you get?
mm,
You see the
mm,
way we mentioned consideration. I always considered other people's feelings. Oh, if
mm,
if I do this, how would he feel? I'm hurting somebody,
mm,
forgetting that I am hurting myself. I am betraying myself. Each
mm,
time that I went back to somebody, yeah,
mm,
that we had ended things, that was self betrayal. Each time that I stayed there and allowed them to be mean to me, that was self
mm.
betrayal. I didn't choose myself. So that's one thing I'll say. Two things I'll say I learned loving myself and considering myself. Yeah. So those
That makes
two.
sense. This even just me realized because I was talking. My friend was telling me saying to you that I like to do things for the plot. And honestly, I don't
Mm-hmm.
even think they're wrong because I even look back at the relationships that I've had before, and not even me saying, like, if you really
Mm-hmm.
think about it, saying even when things were crazy, it really was about the plot. Because I remember the person I was with, the first like person I actually dated in my life. I think
Mm-hmm.
even remaining in that was because I thought it would make a cute story, to say, oh, we've been like together since like high school, secondary school,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like I say new things for the plot, and it's like I mean, come off it, like.
Yeah. So you were saying.
Yeah, I was just talking about like staying with people for the plot
Mm-hmm.
and because it makes it free and all of that. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Okay. But what would you say was your most difficult experience, and what did it teach you about yourself?
all horrible. Okay, obviously, it wasn't all bad. Like there were good parts of
Oh,
it,
of course.
but like
Mm-hmm.
but no, I think again, like I've said before, just making sure that I'm with somebody who is willing to put in effort just as much as I am.
Okay.
And I think also like really listening to people when they say certain things
Yes.
because even my most recent ex, so I remember he would always tell me because for me, I felt like we were compatible, especially in terms of like emotions wise.
Mm-hmm.
We seemed very expressive, just like I was.
Mm-hmm.
And he always told me, oh, that he's usually not this way, but like I was just like, that's cap. Like it seems to come so easy to you, so like there's no
Okay.
way. But just like in retrospect now, which something my friend told me is that she feels that he mimicked the way that I love,
Yes, that can be
which
possible.
to me made a lot of sense because of how easy it was for him to be very shitty to
Mm.
me after he broke up with me. I just think that again, we didn't break up because I did anything. Like he literally just broke up with me out of the blue.
Really?
Um,
I have a
yeah,
question from
like
that.
it was very random. I mean, he gave some reasons, but it was still out of the blue because we were good to me.
Okay.
I didn't know this is something that was so strongly on his mind or whatever. So he just kind of called me up one day and was like, yeah. But I think so. My point is, I didn't do anything, and I just think that with how easy it was for him to go and very shitty to me after I break up, like it's makes sense to me that obviously he had me mimicking the way that I love. Because I don't believe that if you have genuine love for somebody and you're ending
Mm-hmm.
things on a quote unquote mutual basis when they didn't do anything to you, I don't believe it's going to be so easy for you to be shitty to
That's
them.
true.
So yeah.
Hmm. Okay, my question, yeah. I'll answer the same thing, but my question,
Mm.
were you the one, did you ever break up with them, or they were always the one that broke up with you?
I've only ever broken up with someone once, which is the one that I dated in uni,
Okay.
where I would like talk about like things that I wanted, and he would be like, "Oh, this is just how he is." Basically, like very refusing to change or even put in any kind of efforts to do the things that I
Hmm.
wanted or liked. Right? I was the only person that I broke up, and this was like after 3 years. That was my longest relationship.
I
Yeah,
get
so
you.
it was like after 3 years I ended things. So yeah, typically people I know for sure like I struggle with being the one to end
Uh-huh.
things. I really, really don't like it.
Same.
Um, don't know why. Maybe that's something I need to talk about in therapy. Like, yeah.
I think for me, I did a lot of self questioning, and I think I figured out the reason.
Mm,
But let me
mm,
see, my worst relationship, huh? None of them were good though. None. I mean, it all starts. It
mm,
to me, yeah, it all starts good, and then it gets shitty.
mm,
You know, when
yeah.
like then like in my head, maybe I felt like we are going to. I don't think I ever had a relationship that got to a year back then. I don't think I ever.
Mm,
Like it always got shitty, and I feel like the first time maybe was more intense than the first person I liked was more intense than the rest. You get, because that one, it was like I
mm,
traumatized myself very well before
mm,
leaving. So I would say, is it the way you talked about how they get shitty with you really fast? Yeah, I think the last
mm,
person that I think that was 2015. The person that I was with then, that I actually broke up with this person because of something. And you know, when you have all these crazy ideas in your head, that I mean, some of us,
mm,
that you break up with them to see what they will do. Yeah, it was. I actually saw
yeah.
something that wasn't cool. That in normal, like in like a normal setting, I'll break up with you and I should never get back with you.
Mm,
But I broke up with this person,
mm,
and I think them not wanting to fix it broke my heart more.
mm,
But what made
mm,
me to completely stop talking to this person was like what you said, get shitty really fast. Was I heard something they had said
mm,
about me to somebody else, like a mutual friend. See, I was praying for the floor, for the ground
mm.
to open and swallow me that day. I was,
Mm,
and I'm like, you know what? In your whole entire fucking life, never speak to me again. That was how I ended it with that one. But I get what you're saying. Like,
mm.
hmm, to me,
What would you
mm-hmm.
say?
No,
Sorry.
no, please ask.
No, I was just gonna ask because you did say you did a lot of self-questioning and you think
Okay.
you realize why people are often the ones to end things and not you. So why do you
I
think?
think number one was the consideration. I didn't consider myself. I figured out it was a lot of so that conditioning, even from the women that I grew up around, seeing them bear things with a cheating husband. Do you get? Seeing them
Mm, mm,
bear an abusive relationship, an insecure, over controlling partner, things like that. I think we don't process it, but girls are actually looking at you and they are learning from you that this is okay for people to treat them this way.
mm,
So I think that was one of the things I
mm,
learned from that self questioning. That I'm like, fuck no, I don't want anything to do with any of these things anymore, basically.
mm,
And that
mm,
led me to sort of walk away from somebody. Yes.
mm.
Because, like you said, when people tell you who they are, believe them. Yes, because they are
Mhm.
saying it and they are covering it with other
And I also
things.
used to be,
You also want?
yep, yeah. I also used to be very, like, I used to be that person that's like chill with my exes, this
No,
with friends.
I
But
will
honestly,
block
right
you.
now, they can all go straight up to hell. They can burn in hell for all I
See, do you
care.
know,
My
like when
face
I
and
when I
everything
did
will
the
be.
reflection here, I'm like, you didn't need to be mean to me like this. Do you get? Because I liked
Mm-hmm,
you. Because they make you feel bad for liking people. Have you noticed? We have a culture that makes you feel
mm-hmm,
like a loser when you like people or when you are in love with
yeah.
somebody. And but that's not it.
Mm-hmm,
Because I like you doesn't mean it was okay for you to had like to do shitty things to people that like you. That means you don't like yourself.
mm-hmm,
Do you
mm-hmm,
get? Because if
yeah.
you liked yourself, you wouldn't treat like other people like that. When I was doing the self reflection, that was what happened.
Mm-hmm,
And I used to be this person that used to say, "Oh, I used to believe that rubbish." That they used to say that you are immature if you block your ex. Well, I'm blocking you everywhere. Your
mm-hmm.
number.
All day, always be childish all the
Yeah.
time.
Something like that. That was,
Yeah. And I think
you think what?
I think that obviously, I genuinely believe like the more you learn to love yourself, the more you love people around you. I think it's a very
I made it
like
from
they feed each other, if
yes.
that makes sense. If it's they feed like the more you love yourself, the more you're able to love people around you, and the kinder you are to yourself, the easier it is to be kinder with people as
Yes.
well.
That's a question, yeah. How much do you think
Mm-hmm.
the environment of a person influences their beliefs on love and relationship? Yep.
100%.
Same.
It definitely does. It's so funny because my friend always tells me that me, I don't know how to be wicked because I grew up in a loving home.
Mm-hmm. Why
And
would I want to learn how to be wicked?
she said my problem is that I love, but because men deserve wickedness,
Hmm.
honestly, men actually deserve
I'm not
wickedness.
joking.
Sorry. Um, but I think that obviously because I grew up in a home where I saw a lot of love, or so obviously I mean Nigerian parents are still Nigerian parents and they have their own
Mm-hmm.
issues. Regardless, I think for the most part I did grow up in a very loving home where I experienced love, not just with my parents
Mm-hmm.
and the kids, but also between like my mom and my dad as well. So I think that definitely has influenced who I am today.
Okay.
How easy it is for me to love people and show for people. And I find that a lot of people who aren't necessarily that way because they did not necessarily grow up with that kind of love around
That's
them.
true.
Um, yeah. So, and even the people that you have around you. So, like, even the friends you have, the relationships that you experience over time
Mm-hmm.
too, as you're growing, also affects like your views on things and how you love people, how you show for people, how you even love yourself
Yes,
too as
that's
well.
true.
So,
That's very
mm,
true. Mhm. I think that I agree with you 100%. Influences.
mm,
That's why when I see people that treat other people badly, I'm like, I get it. Do
mm,
you know, I made a tweet yesterday because, like, I was sitting and I felt like in this place in my life where I was surrounded by too much love. There's nobody around me, yeah. I live alone and all. But
mm,
I felt love from everywhere, meaning that all my friends, I love them and they love me. Like they had shown
mm,
like in this period of time that I've known them. These are people from different places. I'm living in a different country, do you get? But I was looking like
mm.
actually like these people really like me. Do you get? And I feel the same way about
Mm,
them. And it feels nice. It feels nice to like be
it does.
surrounded by people that really like
It
you.
feels nice. It really is. I honestly, one thing I'm just like, I feel like I can never doubt that I'm loved because honestly, the way my friends show for me is
Yes.
crazy. Because even my birthday this year, I know things weren't really going how I wanted it to go this year, and I really had all the plans for my birthday for things I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because things ended up going how I wanted it, I couldn't really afford like what I wanted to do. And when I tell you, like my friends paid for
Hmm.
everything from my hair to my makeup to my dress. Like it was crazy. My
I
nails,
feel you.
like I was like, nah,
I feel you.
it was such a nice feeling, honestly. So just so that love and you're loving in return as
Yeah.
well. Honestly, I don't even believe people who like to do hard guy because truly, at the core of everybody, I genuinely believe that everybody wants to
Do you know
experience
that
love.
somebody said that
Um,
we all want the same things, but we have been
mhm,
socialized to demand it in a very toxic
mm,
way. Do you get it? That's why they have
mhm,
this saying that the
mhm,
people that um want love the most or like deserve love the most ask for it in the most weird ways. Do you get it? Someone was saying it, people
mhm,
keep this
mhm,
rubbish thing in their head that men want respect, women want love. I'll just laugh at how ignorant that is because that is not true. That is
mhm,
not true. If you look at the way, and then later you hear things like, men want to open up, but women will laugh at them. Like you people should make up your mind.
mhm.
It's just really
Hmm.
funny.
And I
Mhm.
think the first step is obviously to believe you're deserving
Yes,
of it. Because if you don't believe you're deserving of
you
love,
are going
you
to.
like someone can love you wholeheartedly
Mm-hmm.
and you would just
You
miss
push
it.
them
Like
away,
you
actually.
would not know what to do
Yeah.
exactly. You wouldn't know what to do with that love or handle
Do
that
you know
love.
what
So
I realized
yeah,
from like a friendship from last year? Yeah. Last 2 years or last year
yeah,
was I was
mm-hmm.
literally being a genuine friend to two people. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
they were expressing what they were feeling, but they didn't see it as that way. Let me put it like that. You know, when
Mm-hmm.
you are being honest with people or you are being genuine with people and they think you have an ulterior motive, I find that very sad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I feel like these
Mm-hmm.
people have never been surrounded by genuine kindness, even in their family.
Yeah.
Whereby
Mm-hmm.
even you see the way your friend showed up for you, yeah. I had done that to
Mm-hmm.
somebody and they felt like I was going to disrespect them because of that. Some people see,
That is.
yes, some people see you showing kindness to them as like an attack on their person. I find it very, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are trying to say you are better than them. That is too sad because that means
Mm-hmm.
that all your life you've never really experienced people that genuinely like you. You see, that's why when you mentioned friendship,
Mm-hmm.
like the friends you grew up with, it really does influence
Mm-hmm.
like your relationship with people as you grow older. If you are surrounded by people that
Mm-hmm.
constantly want to take from you, always about
Mm-hmm.
transactional stuff, like will never show up for you unless they are benefiting. That's sad. That's really
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Yeah, mm, I think a lot of people are also comfortable with not, I would say, maybe challenging their idea of what love
Yeah.
is and even believing they're deserving of it because there is that fear that they're going to have to leave everybody around them, if that makes sense. Because it feels like if they have to really examine things,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, okay, people in my life aren't really loving me the way I want to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like I have to start all over again. So I think there's that thing where it's just like, you're in a comfortable space. You don't want to change that comfortable
That's
space. So
true.
it's like,
This is what I
I've been doing
know.
this for X, Y, Z years.
Eh,
Exactly. Exactly. So it's just, yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of us stay in things because we get comfortable, right? So it's just very, and one thing that I saw on Twitter, someone tweeted,
mm-hmm.
she said that vulnerability is what makes love great, but it's also what makes love dangerous.
Hmm.
But it's also so interesting because I personally don't believe that you can enjoy love to its
True.
fullest
If you're not
extent
vulnerable.
if you don't let all your guards down.
Hmm. Do you know something I learned from this
Yeah.
self healing thing? Yeah, is that that
Mm-hmm.
person that you see, as I went through all the whole shitty relationships, yeah, I started to be
Mm-hmm.
more guarded. I had gone through being the person that, oh, okay, this is what they like, then this is what I'm going to show to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That is me hurting myself. Then you try
Mm-hmm.
to bend yourself into who they expect or the kind of people, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's all you that is hurting. And for
Yeah.
you to
Yeah.
you see that person I had to build that is very guarded, that person cannot experience
Mm-hmm.
love. That person, you can never really know that person. And that's the truth. When I look at my exes and
Mm-hmm.
some of them be like, they know me, I'm like, I don't think you actually know me. And that's the truth. And it's not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? I didn't show
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know, you might not even, you
Yeah.
don't even know that I can sing. Do you get? Which is like
Mm-hmm.
something that you think is
Mm-hmm.
a basic thing you know about somebody. But a lot of them don't know
Yeah.
me. They don't know Cindy that used to be
Mm-hmm.
so open. Like they didn't meet me
Mm-hmm.
because I had shut of
Mm-hmm.
myself. I didn't want to be vulnerable with anybody. It should just be this and that, like not opening up. So you
Mm-hmm.
never get to experience love fully. But I think where we get to
Yeah.
experience love fully is after healing, and then you start to love yourself.
Mm.
I don't think I would ever
Mm-hmm.
want to
And it's
hide myself right now. Do you get? Even if I get into a relationship with
mm-hmm.
somebody that it doesn't go well per se, I'm not going to hide myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to let you go.
Yeah.
Instead.
I
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also easy to doubt someone's love for you when you have all these walls up because you are very aware that they don't know all of who you are.
Yes.
So it's like you only love the parts of me that I've shown
Yes.
you. So it's easy to doubt that that person knows you fully because they don't truly know you fully.
But do you know that
So
even that doubting their love is can also be because you don't feel you're lovable. You don't think you're worth it. So when people,
a hundred
yes, so
percent,
when
a
people
hundred
actually
percent.
like you, you're like, are you really sure? Do you really know
Right.
me?
Like
Yeah.
what if they don't love this other part of me type of thing.
Mhm.
But like nah, I think at the end of the day, like love really is about trust
Yes.
and taking risks
Do you know
because
something I learned
yeah.
recently? Was about trust.
Mm,
And it blew my mind how I had never, like, we never knew this before. And
mm,
for me,
mm,
yeah, it's still love, but it was relating to, I couldn't explain why I was resentful towards my mother or my parents. I
mm.
couldn't, like, explain it till I found, do you know Brené Brown?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
I found her braving. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get why like, as a child, I was resentful towards my parents because I did not trust them. And I feel that is the
Mm,
story of a lot of Nigerian children. They don't, even parents didn't
mm,
trust their parents because I'll say
mm,
that a lot of Nigerian children don't trust their parents because their parents didn't meet. From the examples Brainy Brown gave about the whole the whole word thing that she did, a lot of it, Nigerian parents don't know that they are actually losing their child's trust. For a child to be
mm,
okay with, like, that's how my mom. You see, for even let me use an example. For kids to be even like to be scared to make mistakes around you, it means they don't trust you. Like
mm,
I was talking to like a friend of
mm,
mine. She's married. She has kids. Yeah. And we were talking about this. I'm
mm,
like, when I started breaking it down for her, she was just shouting, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Do you know why? Because she has children that she shows up for. And I think she was scared because
mm,
she's been showing up, yeah. And I told her she should not stop doing
mm.
that. Because for me, I would,
Yeah.
as a child, one thing I went back was, as a child, I would sit down in a classroom, like when parents are supposed to come, other kids are seeing their parents
Mm,
in the midst of other parents. I'm there and there's nobody there for me.
mm.
She was just shouting Jesus. I'm like, yes. With that, and
I'm
some
sorry.
people say that, oh, your parents are busy, blah blah blah. I'm just laughing because I'm like, you people should please, it's not everybody's parents that works in 9 to 5. If my parents wanted to be there, they would be there. Do you get understand
But I
where
think
I'm coming from? But me, yeah, I didn't hold that now that I'm older, yeah, I don't hold it as a resentment
mm,
anymore because I understand it. Yeah.
mm,
If my parents wanted to, they would have. Trust me, they would have. I know the house I'm coming from
mm,
because even when they were doing the meeting,
yeah.
my dad was still at home. Do you get?
Mm,
So they would have. But then
mm,
I also looked at it that then too, parents have their own struggles. Do you get? Maybe
mm,
maybe they don't know what they will come to do. Do you get? They don't feel that they can add anything. Do you understand? I'm not going to answer for them,
mm,
but that's all. Like me, I feel
yeah.
like when I'm showing grace for all these things, like mistakes,
Mm,
I feel better. It's not even about them,
yeah.
yeah. As I feel they can make
Yeah.
mistakes
It's
because they
more
are not
about you.
perfect. But yeah, trust is one of it.
I understand.
Trust.
I understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like again going back to love and
Okay.
intentionality. I again the whole point of love is being intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you don't only love people when it's convenient for you.
True.
Like you have to show up for
That's
people
true.
because especially when you decide that you want to have this person in your life, you know what
I
I
get
mean?
you.
Like you can't just be so nonchalant about it. Which again, going back to even having kids, like
Yeah.
again, I mean, will have kids just because they just think it's what they're supposed to do. But like it requires a lot of like you have to be intentional, even being a
Yeah.
parent. Like you have to show up for your kids, like and factor all these things. And yeah, obviously sometimes life comes in the way, but like you try and make up for it and things like that. But yeah, I think it goes back to being intentional with people in your life, right?
That's true.
But yeah.
I understand. For me, like right now, if you can't show up for me, I can't be with you. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I feel I don't think it's a trauma response anymore, yeah. But my mind
Yeah.
now, because of all the whole process, it doesn't really
Yeah.
respond quickly to emotional stuff. I always go through questioning. Is this just me or my inner
Mm.
child yearning that I'm not seeing the other side of this?
Mm.
Eventually, it clears. If you
Yeah.
cannot show up for me, that's fine. We don't have to be in anything together. I love you from
Mm.
afar. Yeah.
No, that is very valid. I don't even think it's a trauma response. I think
Mm-hmm.
we all need to demand people to show up for us because what are we really doing if we're not showing up for people that we say that we love?
Mm-hmm.
One thing for me, I genuinely don't know how people have like two, three friends because I don't think I can have because I
How
don't
many
know.
friends
For
do you
me, it's
have?
just like I also realize that it's very easy, girl. Too many, too many, too many. It's actually starting to get overwhelming. Literally.
Hmm.
But because for me, I'm just like I think that I also realize that it's very easy for me to not be like say if maybe you did something that I don't like or you're not able to show up for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy for me to not take it personally
True.
because there's someone else I can call and
Yeah,
text.
that's true.
You know what I mean? It's just like you know
I
what I
get
mean. So
it.
it's easy for
Mm-hmm.
me to allow breathing space, I would say, maybe in our friendship, because I know that, okay, if you're not here, okay, let me go find somebody who is able to be here for me at this time. And that way I'm not as upset with you as I would have been if you were like my only friend in the entire world, right?
Okay.
And so, yeah, no,
Yeah, I
yeah.
feel. See what you say. Yeah, this is why, like, to
Mm,
me, it is a red flag if your partner is your only friend. That is a problem to me. Apart from
mm,
even on your side, that is too much energy on one person. I like the idea that I have different friends. Yeah, I have friends. I can
mm,
call them for different things. There's somebody I call. I call
mm,
George when I want to talk about feelings. He to me like
mm,
he is more he's like aware as I am, whereby he doesn't give advice. He
mm,
helps me question or
mm,
see things that I'm not seeing, and then I'm able to reflect. If I
mm,
want to talk about something else, I have other friends I
mm,
talk to. Do you get? So it's you not
mm,
putting all this energy on one person. That whole idea of
mm,
after when see, do you know when we grew up around what I noticed? People like to once they are
mm,
married, they cut off their friends. That's a problem.
mm,
That's why a lot of Nigerian women are lonely. I'm not joking. You see it, and they see
mm,
it as a flex.
mm,
When we were growing up, that's what I saw. They see it as
mm,
a flex that oh, I'm now married. My friend is single. We are no longer on the same
mm,
level. You are going to be lonely as hell. Let's give you 3 months. So yeah, like to me, I feel
mm,
that's too much energy. Even on one friend, if it's only one friend you have, you can't have like you see, like there
mm,
are different. Maybe you have friends that you talk to about business stuff. I have a friend for that. Even work, if I
mm,
need to clear something, I'm having problem with programming or something. I have friends I'll call. Do you get? So I don't get everything from one
yeah.
place. And this is you
Mhm,
you see that they are able to different people can meet your needs, and when people don't show up for you,
mhm,
you don't hold it with resentment because everybody has something going on in their life too. Yeah,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
having one friend or saying you
Mhm.
are blocking off your friend because you are dating somebody, that's a problem.
It is. It is. I also do not like people that every time, or maybe when you go out with them,
Mhm.
they're always like, "Oh my gosh, I miss my man. I want to go back home to my man." Like, girl, get a grip. Like,
I feel they are not yet. A lot of people are not so comfortable yet being by themselves.
mm,
For me, yeah, I think that a
Mm,
lot of women need to experience living alone one time. Do you know that we have like,
mm,
especially older women, a lot of them have never lived alone in their lives. So
mm,
it's kind of like weird because anywhere they want to go, they want to go with their partner. But for once, they've never
mm,
experienced just being by themselves. That's why I don't even
mm,
know where all this social culture of trying to shame people that want to do solo travels and stuff. To me, I feel like in a way it stalls women's life, especially. Do you get that they keep
mm,
waiting, even to go with friends? Me, I started being more intentional about
yeah.
that because I noticed that anytime I make plans, I always want to do it with somebody. I'm like, no, let me go by myself for once. Just go on my own. Just
Mm-hmm.
not every time you want to go with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I know.
Well, there are things that I can do on my
Yeah.
own. So, like when I was in uni and I was doing my internship, I think one of the things I was very intentional about not like making my life about work. So I would try to just be
Okay.
outside of work. I would like go on dates by myself
Mm-hmm.
or like go to the movies by myself, which was nice. But I also know that I'm typically somebody that enjoys having sharing experiences with
Yeah,
people.
it's
Because,
lovely.
for instance, I traveled recently,
Mm-hmm.
and the person I was staying with was working, so I kind of had to go out on my own, and it was just I don't know, I wasn't a fan. It's weird because I was just like, okay, I was seeing all these really nice things that were pretty, and I really enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
but it just felt odd because I was doing it alone. I was experiencing all of that alone, and so I'm also very like there are things that I can do on my own for sure, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't mind it, but like especially when it comes to like I'm in a different place that I've never really been to before and exploring that place, like I
Yeah.
would definitely prefer to do with other
And then you
people.
see when you get old, I mean, you people have memories to chat about. Do you get? Yeah,
Pardon?
you will have things that you talk about later in the future, sort of.
Hmm.
Okay.
There's
Mm-hmm.
something that I realized.
Oh,
Sorry
no
to cut you, but
problem.
there's something that I realized about myself lately, and like I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, or I don't know what it is, but I feel like recently I realized that my love for people has more to do with me than it really has to do with them. Because for me, it's just like, I mean, we're spending all this time together, we're sharing those memories, we're getting intimate, we're getting closer. It's like, how can I not love you? You know what I mean? So it's not so much what they're doing or who they are, but it's more of like, I just can't help but love people. And I don't know if that's a good or
My
bad thing.
question for you, yeah. Why do you think it's weird
Hmm. I don't know. I actually don't
unfamiliar? Is it
know.
unfamiliar?
Because I know that a lot of times people are like, oh, why do you love this person? And a lot of times it's like I just do. You know what I mean? Like it's different if you ask me what I love about this person, but I don't love you because you're XYZ. I love you because I love you,
Okay.
and
So
that's just it. I've
let me
chosen to
explain my
love you.
theory, yeah. Could it be
Mm-hmm.
self-love? Do you know why I'm saying self-love? It's like what I said.
Mm-hmm.
When the monks and all these people talk about love, they talk about it being from you. That is your express. That's where you
Mm-hmm.
are expressing love. And for these people to want to
Mm-hmm.
hang around you, it means they love you, so you love them. They see you, do you
Mm-hmm.
get it? And it's
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's how it is
Mm-hmm.
for me now. Yeah. For people, because I
Mm-hmm.
sit down with my friends and we have a good time, we laugh, we talk freely about things. To me, it means they enjoy me as a person, they enjoy my company, and I love
Mm-hmm.
me. And since they love me and see me, do you get? They care for me. They bring me gifts unintentionally, like sometimes you get. And I make sure like I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing things for them, like from my heart,
Yeah.
expecting nothing. And because they like what we have, it means they like me and
Mm-hmm.
I like me. So I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to like them. That's the
Mm-hmm.
way I see what you've explained. And it's true.
I don't
It's
know.
I think it's
Yeah.
a very beautiful thing because you see that love is about you. It's not about another person. It means like you are complete.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? Their love
Mm-hmm.
doesn't complete you.
Mm-hmm.
It adds to what you're already like expressing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. So So, what do you? I have a question here. What do you think about
Yeah.
people giving all these their Twitter advice about relationships? I've been seeing a lot of
People, I think
weird nonsense online.
people should do what works for
Yes.
them. At the end of the day, there are things that, because again, like there are things that you can end a relationship for
Mm-hmm.
that somebody would not find a big deal, and there are things that so that person will find a big deal that's usually a big deal. So you just have to find what you're okay with, what you're comfortable with. Obviously, making sure that love is at the center of everything and you feel loved at every point. But you can't, like, you have to view your relationship and judge whatever it is that's happening based on what you know about your relationship to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just have to do what works for you, in my own opinion. As long as you're not harming yourself, obviously, or harming the other
Yes.
person. I think you just really have to do
I agree with
what's
you. I feel like a lot of people are still hung on the whole belonging, wanting to belong.
mm,
So sometimes they are listening to people say things that are weird and inauthentic.
mm-hmm,
To be honest, like you said,
mm-hmm,
what can I can end my relationship for? Another person might not do the same thing. So it is what makes you
mm-hmm,
feel comfortable at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's you that is going to be living with yourself. If you're being honest. Yeah.
yeah.
So is there
Mm-hmm.
anything about the current dating I don't know, dating experiences that you think you'd like to change if you had power to change it?
Hmm. It's an interesting question. I think you should go first. You should go first. Let me think.
um Dating, I feel like, yeah, I feel everybody should figure out who they are first. I
Mm,
think people should stop rushing teenagers, or when I mean rushing
mm,
teenagers, that whole idea of making their life about who they are going to end up with when they don't even know what they
mm,
really like, apart from maybe social
mm,
conditioning from being around parents and all that, like learning from other
mm,
people. I think we as
mm,
adults should maybe adopt the culture of getting to know ourselves first. Or even, you see, I
mm,
don't mean that they should completely stay away from dating. Even as you're doing it, yeah,
mm,
learn how to individuate. Do you get? Be your own self. Because I
mm,
didn't know who I
yeah.
was for a long time. I kept letting people define
Mm,
me as a person. So that's what, for me, if I had the power,
mm,
that's what I would make everybody do. A period for individuating, being by themselves,
mm,
getting to know who they really are. Even they might be dating, that's their choice, but I feel that is a very important thing everyone needs to do. Like, get rid of that
mm,
group beliefs first.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, I think for also, like, I would say kindness, because I know I
Yes.
see a lot of times people are like, oh, why are you gonna expect this from somebody that you're just like casually
Mm.
sleeping with and da, 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 da. But like my thing is, for me, I genuinely don't believe in people, because for me, I'm very much like what you see is what you get. Because there are people that are like, oh, okay, but when we're in a relationship, I will treat you different. Because for me, if you're a kind person, you're a kind person.
Yes,
It shouldn't matter
that is very
the
true.
context of your relationship with that person. Like, if you're kind, you're kind. You can't convince me that you're unkind to this
That,
person
oh,
because
it's
it's
just them.
casual and you want me to believe that you're going to be kind.
Mm.
Exactly. Like, if you're a kind person, you're a kind person, regardless of the context of the
Can I give you
situation.
another?
So
Can I
that's
give you
one thing.
another
Like,
this thing? This
of
what you
course,
said
for
now
sure.
is the same thing like we said. If you cannot be kind to another person, it means you are
Mm,
not kind to yourself genuinely. That means you separate when you want to be kind to yourself and when you won't be kind.
mm,
So that's why you're saying because it's casual. If you're
mm-hmm,
a kind person, it should spread across that. It spreads across everything else, whether it's casual or not. Yeah.
exactly. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it also feels like you being kind in a relationship feels very
Yes,
performative, as opposed to
exactly.
that is what you actually want to do. You feel like,
Genuinely.
okay, this you're obligated.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it feels like now you're obligated to the time, which doesn't make sense. And next thing you get into fire, and then you find out that you're unkind to this
That's
person.
performance.
Another thing, yeah, it is. Another thing I would say is that I feel like what I'm realizing, at least for myself now, obviously people are different because I see a lot of times people are like, oh, like, um, what are you doing talking to somebody for like 2, 3 months? You should know, da 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 da. But I feel like, which
To be
again is
honest, we
fair. Like
shouldn't
again, like
know.
your
We shouldn't know. That's the truth.
your experience is your experience.
We shouldn't
But I would
know.
say in my own personal life,
Mm,
I'm learning to be okay with taking my time
yes.
because, like I said before, like 1 month, 2 months, listen, I'm ready. What are you saying? Let's get married right now. Like, you know,
I know. I feel
but
what you mean
at
is
the same
people trying to time an experience. Yeah. Nah.
exactly.
It
So, like,
does.
it's
Yeah.
okay to take your
Decide
time.
what works for
I think
you.
I'm learning that it's okay to take
Mm,
your time. Decide what works for you. And, like, it's okay. Like, don't let people make you feel like, well, because you've been talking to somebody for, what, 6, 7 months, and because it's not, like, really defined or anything, like,
yeah.
they're crazy. Or, like, know who you, again, going back to knowing who you are and knowing what you
Exactly.
want when things is like outside noise, right? Um,
Exactly. I get you.
yeah.
Okay. So, question: you watched Bridgerton, right?
Yes,
So,
I
on the three, who is your favorite couple?
it has to be Canthony.
Who is
Canthony.
Canton
Yeah,
or Canton?
season two.
Really?
Yeah, I really like him.
Really?
Yes, so
You vex me. Okay.
yeah, actually, what is which is your taste?
To be honest, I was leaning towards the first. Yeah. Dukes and
Yeah.
Duchess of Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, yeah, yeah, I was leaning towards
Mm-hmm.
the first. Why? You see, when I watched Charlotte, yeah, the Queen Charlotte one, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude. I got see eventually, yeah, I got to see that he liked her. Do you get it? But I won't lie, that had their love, yeah. It's very sad.
It
It's
was.
sad.
It
Do you
kind of
know? Do
was.
you know
But
the sadness? The sadness is when she figured out that he wasn't okay. That's the sadness.
mm-hmm.
And then she was being
Mm-hmm.
resentful. And then no, she has decided that she was going to stay with him and all that. That's very sad, man. I mean, you're going to be there are sometimes this person will remember you and the person will not remember you. That's sad.
But I think that even goes out because I mentioned earlier
Mm-hmm.
how sometimes you choose to love people
Yes.
and you choose to be patient with
Yes.
them, through things,
Mm-hmm.
which I think can be okay as long as
Yeah.
this person is also showing they're putting in effort.
I mean, to be
I
honest,
think
it
that
means she loves all
again,
of him. Do you get it?
yeah,
Yeah.
like you just have to decide what you can handle, I guess,
Yeah.
and decide if it's worth it for you.
Yeah, I get you.
I think a lot of times, to love relationships,
Mm-hmm.
friendships are often very we have become very performative. Maybe not have
Not
become
we
because I
have
don't know what it
become,
was
they
like
have
back in the
been.
day. But like, I'll say let's say has it come because I don't know what it was like back then, or I can only speak about
Do
what
you know
I
why? Do you
see
know why I
now.
say it has been performative? Yeah. Look at all the whole gender roles. Look at
Mm-hmm.
everything. To me, I just think it has been performance since that's what they've been doing because a lot of
But
people
when
are
I even
unhappy.
say
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when I even say performative, I mean more so in the sense that people are often doing things for how it would look on the outside.
Yes.
Because I know that a lot of times, because
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes we even shame people for going back to certain partners after they do
Yes.
certain things. And it's like I understand that, but at the same time, if this is this person's choice and their partner seems to be putting in efforts to do better, like let them be. Do you get what I mean? Like if it makes you happy and you genuinely see your partner is doing better,
Mm. I
like everybody else will be alright. Do you get what I mean?
agree with you. I
Everybody else will be alright.
need to learn how to be compassionate regardless of the choices people make. Did you
Mm-hmm.
see the tweet about the one that the girl shared her what the guy was saying to her? She shared like a
Yes.
whole. Do you see the response to it? Someone kept saying sometimes we need to shame people so that they can leave a situation. I'm like, you don't even know where that girl is coming from. Because see,
You
to me,
know.
yeah, I don't believe I am above anything. That is the truth.
Mm.
See, things can shock you.
It could always be. It could always be.
See, things can shock you. People pretend. That is the truth. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to someone that is like married. She's older, and she was like, "This person pretended. This is not like who they show." And she was like, the day she confronted him, if you know that this your attitude was good, why didn't you show it at the beginning? People pretend.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're like all those things she went through. You people are forgetting that you are dealing with a human being. That this is the whole point. You are
Exactly.
choosing to love somebody, giving them a chance. Are we now saying
Mm-hmm.
that we shouldn't give people chances? Part of us
Mm-hmm.
being human being and showing people grace can
Yeah.
sometimes maybe end up in situations like that. But that's why we also
Mm-hmm.
need friends that are kind enough
Mm.
to remind us that yo,
Yeah.
this is not okay. You see the way we've talked about it, that your friendship and the relationship you have around you is going to be your
Mm.
anchor in even romantic relationships. Most of the people that
Mm.
have abusive relationships, why can't they, when we think about it, then you'll be asking why don't these people talk to people that love them? But you don't know how
Mm.
their so-called family will
They're
react to it.
feeling.
Yes, you don't know how they are feeling for them to be able to open up and tell you that yo, there's
Mm-hmm.
something wrong. A lot of people feel
This this
alone. Mm-hmm.
this also makes me think of how, because I see a lot of times people are like, oh, if I give you advice one to two times, I'm just going to I don't want to hear anything about the situation anymore. And I think for me, it feels like such a shitty thing to see, because if you understand how, because choosing to walk away from things is not an easy thing to do.
It is
And
not.
sometimes you have to be like, for me, it's like, listen, you want to rant about the same thing 100 times, I would listen, because it's important for me above anything else for you to know that I'm here for you. So for you to know that the day that you get the strength and the courage to walk away,
You have
I'm
support.
going to be here for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know what you mean.
because you can't force people to do things. There are situations where obviously, yes, you have to like, intercede and all of that. But like, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm tired of listening to this. Like, you say this all the time. Like, it takes some time for people to come into things.
To me, I feel it's all
Yeah.
about ego because we think that we are this. Sometimes people think that we are the smartest, so we need to be
Mm,
heard. What we are saying is very intelligent,
mm,
but then we forget
mm,
compassion and kindness towards people. I feel it's ego,
mm,
and then why are you getting upset when somebody doesn't take your advice? That has to do with self. Do you get? It has a lot to do with self, not
mm,
them.
mm,
I won't give you advice. Do you know why?
mm,
Because, to be honest, people don't want your advice. They know what they need to do. I'll be there for you. I'll listen. I'm going to ask you, what do
mm,
you want? What do you want me to say to you? Do you understand? And not like in a mean way. What would you like to hear?
mm,
If you want me to
mm,
tell you what to do, the truth is, I can't tell. People ask, well, I had a friend who was going through something and he was like, I should tell him what to do. I told him, I can't tell you what to do. And that is the truth. I cannot. Because me saying that, yeah, I'm going to be
mm.
talking from my perspective because at the end of the day, it's this
Yeah.
thing that Nigerians say, I don't know how it take they do you. That kind of thing. Like, I
Mm,
don't know how you're experiencing something. What I can do is the same
mm,
thing. I told you, I mentioned my friend George. The same thing we do. We question it. How does this make you
mm,
feel? That's it to me.
mm,
I feel that is than these are two advice they are giving you advice twice that they like to shout. That is the best thing to do
mm,
for people. Help them
mm,
anchor back to love, but also you
mm.
holding your boundaries,
Yeah.
whereby,
Yeah.
yes, like I'll listen to you, but there are some days that maybe I might not want to listen. I'm going to be honest that, okay, can we
Mm,
schedule on that time to talk about this? No.
mm,
But
mm,
to me, it's down to showing grace. All those two advice I'll
mm,
leave you. You're leaving your friends lonely.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
No, true,
I,
because again, for me, it's important that you know that I'm always here for you.
mhm.
Whenever you're ready. And I think people forget that. we are not the same. Like just because it's going to be so easy for you to walk away from the situation doesn't mean it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be easy for this other person. And I think we often like cannot understand how something might be so hard for somebody else because people just think, oh yeah, like I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't be in this situation, I'll walk away easily. But it's just like, okay, but you're not the person in the situation right now. It's a
Yeah,
completely different person with a completely different life experience that has
exactly.
shaped them into who they are right now. You cannot just expect that things that they're going to act like you.
Even
Mm-hmm.
come when you are ready. That ready is not on your own timeline. Have
Mm-hmm.
you seen Maids? Have you seen Maids? The series on
Have
Netflix.
I?
The
I
one
think I
that she was
have.
being
Yeah.
abused at the beginning, she kept saying he's
Yeah.
not beating me. Do you see what the
Yeah.
black that sorry, the older woman told her, the older black woman, she told her that it took her how many times before she could leave an abusive
Mm-hmm.
relationship. That's why when I tell
Mm-hmm.
people that see, you don't know, like if you've never dealt with people that, like if you've never been in a situation that you don't understand, don't make it about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
Honestly,
Yeah, I watched that. I
really,
watched
don't
that
make it
series. I
about
cried
you.
there. I cried. It was hard. It was hard. And do you know that at the end of the day, her mom that was being that
Mm-hmm.
mean to her, her mom was also abused. And her
Mm-hmm.
mom was still saying she wasn't, like she's not a victim. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
I feel like it's because she would also have seen herself as a victim too, and sometimes it's hard to,
Yes. Like they feel like
yeah,
maybe victims, maybe they think victims should look a certain way. Do you get?
exactly,
Yes.
that's another thing. People are always
Mm-hmm.
looking for the perfect
Perfect
thing, right?
victims, yeah. Okay, so what are your favorite movies about love?
Uh, do I have favorite movies about love? I don't think that I have a favorite movie about love.
What so far, like with everything you've seen, what has been like your ideal love story that you've seen that you like, basically?
In a movie,
Mm-hmm.
so I genuinely don't think there's one because I feel like I watch a lot of romance movies, but because they're all sweet and nice and
Yeah.
whatever, all things that I've watched one way, I'm just like, you know what I mean? But I don't think I've, but like I have some movies that I've watched too many times. Like I don't know if you've seen A Walk to Remember. I've seen that movie like 10 times
I
at this
probably have. I'll check them.
I've
I'll
seen
check
it like
for
10
you.
times at this point. But no, I don't think there's any like movie that I'll say, oh my god, like this was like, I want to be them type of thing, right? Um,
Okay.
I don't know. No, no.
Okay,
How
so
about you?
to be honest, love. See, I really think people should stop watching Nollywood love movies. I'm sorry.
That's,
I'm sorry. Most of their see why do they like struggle love?
mm,
But
mm,
anyway, I haven't. I don't know if I have like an ideal right now. I don't know.
mm,
I don't know. I don't know if I have an ideal
mm,
this thing. Okay, but I have a question. Is
mm.
there any point that you ever walked away from somebody even before starting a relationship with them?
No, like I said, it's
Mhm.
2 months. Yeah. So no, I feel like there was someone that I did date at some point where like I knew that I didn't want the relationship. But and it feels weird to say, but like I really was pressured into being in a relationship because I had recently just stopped talking to the person that I dated for like 3 years because we broke up, but like we were still talking and
Mhm.
doing like stuff together. And I recently decided, okay, like we actually need to stop talking to each other because everything is just complicated at this point.
Sure.
And that was also the person that wasn't like being very emotionally open and
Oh, okay.
willing to love me the way I wanted to be wanted to be loved. And every time I brought it up, they'd be like, "Oh, that's just how I am." So I think meeting
Okay.
this other person and they were emotionally expressive, like type of shit that I like send me paragraphs that they feel whatever. It was cute and I enjoyed that. And I think because I didn't want to lose that, and they would always like they would send me like a whole paragraph because I was upfront about not wanting to be in a relationship. They would send me a whole paragraph and then end it with, "Oh, but no pressure though." Like at some point, the
Really?
pressure got to me. What do you mean no pressure? I wasn't even At some point the pressure got to me. And again, like even in that moment, I knew that I shouldn't have been because there were so many signs that I shouldn't have been because I don't think like no one should be anybody that because even his voice is irritating me. Like
Chineke.
and it's like damn, like that was a sign. Like
Mm-hmm.
but it felt okay, like I was getting things I was missing from my other relationships. It was just like okay, like I'm sure I can ignore his voice, you know. Um even the day that I said, okay, fine, we could be in a relationship, I had called him. I think I called him multiple times till he woke up because I knew if I didn't tell him in that moment, I was never going
You
to break
change
it.
your
And for me,
mind.
it's just like that was another sign that I shouldn't have been in the relationship. For. I mean, I want to end it eventually. So I ended like 3 months. I think that was probably my shortest relationship. But yes, I don't even remember what the question was.
If you ever walked away from somebody.
So, oh no, no. The answer is that I didn't. The only person I've ever broken with was the person I dated after 3 years.
Okay,
That was the one that I did walk away from because I was like, I cannot, like, I refuse to keep doing this.
I understand.
But yeah,
I have. I have.
mm,
And I think a few people now.
mm,
At some point, I had to question myself, like, yo, I hope this is not a trauma response for all the time you haven't broken up with people. But it wasn't.
mm,
Yeah, but I had to ask myself that question. I feel like I looked at how they made me feel. You see, so I really heard people say
mm,
that, I hear people tweet, I see people tweet about it rather, how a person makes you feel.
mm,
And anxious is not always anxious is not really a good thing. Yeah.
mm,
So there are different people. Like some were like talking, and then I'm like, this won't go anywhere. Do you get?
mm,
Like your beliefs
mm,
are nah. Like everything you're showing me
mm,
now, I'm seeing it. And okay,
mm.
yes, another question. Have you ever dealt with guys that have this? Is it Madonna Hall complex?
Jeez, what is that?
Okay, it
I feel like I
means
always see it, but I'm not sure if
oh
I
yeah, so
understand
it
it.
means that they see they like to divide girls. That these girls are the ones that you sleep with, and these are the ones that you marry.
I don't think I've ever been with anybody like that.
Uh, Not being with, but
Or at least
like
not to the best of my knowledge, though,
okay.
because men are not.
Well, like I've been
Um,
in a situation where I spoke to somebody like that, and right from the first time I heard it, it just didn't make sense. Do you get?
mm,
It just didn't make sense, and I didn't continue. I'm like, nah, that can't happen. It means you are dividing me. Even like
mm.
you telling me that I'm the kind of girl they marry, that's not okay. Do you get? That's
That's
not a
not a
compliment.
compliment, sir.
That's not a compliment. That's weird. What do you mean? So it's just like, and they like to compare it to, well, when they say maybe they want being slaughtered out, like you want someone to like have sex with you in a certain way, and they tell you. Also,
Mm,
another one was telling me that, like, her husband said that to her, whereby, oh no, that these are the kind of girls you travel with, and these are the ones you marry.
well,
She's like, sorry,
what
you.
does that even mean? Okay, but then they marry you and then they want
Yeah.
you to act like the girls you travel with.
No, 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 no,
Make it
no, no,
make sense.
no. They don't want to travel with you. That's what they are saying.
I'm crying, please. I was just saying that, like, there are a lot of times where you see men where they're like, oh, they can't marry this type of girl because she's this, da, da, da. But then you get married to them, and then suddenly they want you to be acting like those women that they were talking shit about. And I'm like,
That's the performance we were talking about. Do you get the whole pretending that people like to do?
Like, just be true to yourself. Like what you like. Exactly. It's okay
Yeah,
for me
that's
to.
what.
Everybody is trying to look a certain way and show people a
True.
certain thing, and just live for yourself and be happy.
Okay, so my other question: what do you think about situationships? Would you ever want to be one? You
I
love them,
love
yeah.
them. I'm, I'm joking. Love is an extreme, but I guess like I'm not mad at them. Like again, like if that works, because like again, like me right now, I'm not looking or ready to be any.
Okay.
I said for me right now, I'm not looking to be in a relationship anytime soon. Like for next 2, 3 years, I'm not looking for that. So I'm very okay with being in a situationship. Like if like I don't like if, again, if it works for you, it works for you. I
Okay.
genuinely don't care about being in because I'm very much like I want to experience love and all these things. But I think I'm in a place where I'm genuinely scared of giving my heart to somebody that way. Like it's not something I'm ready for, and I think I need to go to
I
therapy
get
before I
you.
would be in a relationship. Not that I think I'm very certain. So before I get there, I still want to enjoy like love. I still want to go on trips with someone I like and do all these things. So until I get there, I'm okay being in a situationship. So
Okay.
yeah,
Feel you.
how do you feel about?
I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. Do you know,
Mm,
like, I didn't really know what it was,
mm,
but apart from maybe past relationships I've had a lot of friends with benefits and situationships, and I don't want that anymore
mm,
because
mm,
I think maybe the last one that I
mm,
experienced made me feel like I'm not leaving. And even as I'm speaking now, I
mm,
am not in a place where
mm,
I want to be in a relationship yet. It will change, or it might change, you get it will change. But I just want to be
mm,
by myself.
mm,
That's how I like my body has been feeling.
mm,
Do you get? I just don't I right now I'm not talking to anybody
mm,
intentionally. I don't want to for like
yeah.
at least this year I feel it's been about me taking care of myself, basically. I don't want to focus
Mm,
on
mm,
anybody else. I felt that way. I think maybe I think one of it
mm,
was that the last person that maybe we even had like a situationship sort of, not the last person, but one of them or one person, the way he thought about something made me feel weird. And then making me looking at it, I'm like,
mm,
how can I be sleeping with
mm,
somebody that thinks like this? It means I don't like myself.
mm,
Basically. So and that made my I felt the need to protect myself. Let me put it that way. Like I don't want anybody to touch me. That's how I was
mm,
feeling. Like you people just stay on that
mm,
lane, let me stay on my lane
mm,
and just focus on myself sort of. That I think that's how I like
mm,
recently I've been feeling. I don't want to talk
mm,
to anybody. See the way you said for the next 2 years, three
mm,
years. Good. Maybe mine might not even be up to 3 years, but for now, till whenever, I don't
mm,
want to get to know anybody new in that way, or even rekindle
mm,
anything with anyone old. So far, like let's just be by ourselves. Because I
yeah.
think recently I also walked away from somebody,
Mhm.
sort of, because because I
Okay.
had to, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I feel like we need to focus on ourselves. That's the best.
Mhm.
I love each other, no problem. I love you
Mhm.
100, no problem. Yeah. But I need to care for myself. That's how
Mhm.
I was feeling because I don't think I've ever stayed a
Mhm.
year without dating
Mhm.
anybody. You see, like speaking of the old relationships, I had been moving from one to another. So
Please put your gun down. Put your gun down. You're getting aggressive right
okay, sorry. Members of the group, I'm sorry.
now. Yeah, I was even gonna ask when you say you didn't feel like you were leaving, what do you mean?
I didn't feel like I was what?
leaving, like, because you said you had to walk away because you felt like you weren't leaving. Like, because when you talked about not wanting to be in situationships
Yes, okay,
anymore.
okay, okay. So living, I mean like experiencing fully. I want somebody to love me. Do you get? I don't
Mm,
want to be anxious about how someone feels. And for
mm,
me to feel that way, it means like I want more. Do you understand? I don't want
mm,
to be in something that we cannot tell each other that I love you, or we can't
mm,
be. Do you get that affectionate towards each other because we are scared? It means we still have things to work
mm.
on. We have things to heal from.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, I don't think I've ever like stayed single. It's either I had
Mm,
it's either I have like friends with benefits or something going on or then a
mm,
relationship. But nah, I feel like this time my body was like, you know what? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So it's like it was unplanned, to be honest. It was unplanned. That I just like I'm just
I
going to go with
think
the flow.
shit. Maybe there's something I need to talk about therapy too, because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
having someone that is on the receiving end of my feelings, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes
I
sense.
just really like
100%.
it. So it's like,
Like I want to tell you I'm excited to talk to you and not feel weird
mm-hmm,
about it. Like I want to trust that
mm-hmm,
I'm loving you. That kind of thing. I
mm-hmm.
get you.
Yeah, so it's like even if I'm not in a relationship, it's just like it's nice having somebody that's like, at the receiving end of my feelings, and like vice versa too.
Yeah.
So you're stronger than me for sure.
No, no. See, I'm serious. It took me understanding that if I do, because of, I mean, speaking of my own experience, so I'm like, because if I do this, it means I'm betraying myself again. Do you get? I felt
Mm,
like at some point I was too invested in how somebody was doing, but not
mm,
myself. And I noticed it with my. You see, the way I said, the way one person does something, that's how they do everything. I noticed it
yeah.
in work too. Like I was questioning
Mm,
myself that how can I be having situationships in relationships and in work too? What does this mean?
I'm
Do you get? Because I
crying.
freelance, I free, I freelance, and then you have clients that you are not sure. No, that's like to
Mm,
me. I was like, nah, this cannot be my life. I have to
mm,
review everything. I want to
mm.
trust that I'm safe with you. Do you get that I'm being
Can
considered?
you?
Huh?
But can you? Do you think then you can get all of that in a situationship? So,
From
like,
my
is it
experience, I didn't
impossible?
get it though. Well,
Fair enough.
well, no, let me not. Nah. Well, at the beginning, no. At the beginning, it
Mm,
wasn't. I was constantly anxious. I don't know. There's something about you being vulnerable with somebody that you like, and then you are also scared that this person is going to,
mm,
because of your experiences, you're scared that this person is going to take you for granted. That kind
mm-hmm,
of thing. But for me, yeah, situationships, I don't want it. I want us to be clear. Do you get? I like you. I
mm-hmm.
want to be okay being expressive with somebody. Sure.
Mm.
And there's something. Did you ever hear people say that, you know what, we can be dating, but if you want to go ahead and sleep with other people, you can do that? Did you ever hear that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't. I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Just saying one thing that I feel like I don't understand is the concept of
Mhm.
people. So when people are like dating and not necessarily in a relationship and they're exclusive, I
Mhm.
genuinely don't get it because what's the difference between what you're doing and being in a relationship?
Hmm, I don't get it too. I really don't get it.
Like, what
Because I
you're
don't know.
exclusive
Do
or
you
in a
let me
relationship?
ask you a question here. I used to feel I'm weird, yeah.
Mm,
But when I talking to one person, I'm just talking to one person.
mm,
I don't I don't know. I think I might be weird though.
mm.
But if I'm talking to one person, I'm talking to one person. If I'm not, mm-mm.
I
I
don't think
tried
it's
that
weird.
idea of I tried that idea of like talking to multiple people. It's just stressful, to be
I don't
honest.
think it's
It's
weird
stressful.
because even for me, I
Mm-hmm.
do prefer I'm talking to one person, I'm talking to one person. But
Mm-hmm.
me, just because I'm talking to only one person does not mean I have to sleep with only one person. I don't know, it's crazy, but like because like I don't have to be talking to these other people to sleep with them. Do you get what I mean? Like,
I get you.
like I don't have to actively be talking to you. It's just like, oh yeah, it happens. It's done. Like we're not
Mm.
actively in contact. We're not like hanging out or spending time with each other. Because again, for me personally, I think sex is just sex. It's not that serious to
Okay.
me. But yeah.
Okay, I get you. But me, I want to do vulnerable things during sex. So,
Mm. Well, that's bad. Yeah, you do it with the one person you're talking to. Like, you don't have to do it with these other people.
hey. See, I don't know. Like, I just used to feel weird because I know like people talk to multiple people at a time,
Mm.
but
It's
um,
exhausting, right?
it
Because I
is.
feel like if I
I
like you, I
tried
want
it
to
and
be hanging out with
now.
you, going on dates with you,
Yeah,
spending time with. Like, I can't do that with multiple people. Like, it's just too exhausting.
it
Um,
is.
but
I
sex, so.
feel
But the thing is
you.
that even with the sex, it can't even be frequent with other people. Do you get like
I
maybe
get
once
you.
in a while thing, sure, but like.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm.
Me, I was saying the other day that love in itself is easy, but it's relationship with people that can be stressful because you are going to be dealing with another person with their own ideas
Mm-hmm.
and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's something.
It's weird.
Anyway, so my question is now, these are like final questions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's like, how is the world like now from your view, and what would you like to change about it?
Oh, I like to change about the world. That's to
Mm-hmm.
pay Turkey.
What is it?
I said that's to pay
Oh, okay.
Turkey.
Okay, but with relationships too, do you have
Okay.
specific things like with the whole patriarchy thing? What would you like
Gender rules
to change? Okay,
does not make sense.
I support you.
So many things just don't make sense. Toxic masculinity is just so problematic, and I don't know. I think people just need to be free and do whatever without thinking, "Oh, I'm a man or I'm a woman. I shouldn't do X, Y, Z." Like,
Yeah,
just do what you want to do. Like, yeah.
I feel like that ruins relationship too
Mm-hmm.
in its way. That whole I'm a man, I need to do this and that. It has a way
Mm-hmm.
of ruining people's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one question. Uh, give advice on how to get over a breakup. What would you say they should do?
Get under somebody else to get over them.
Really?
I'm sorry, but it works. It actually works. I'll say that. Actually,
Does it? Okay. So what do you say your advice is?
I get under somebody to get over the other person.
Me,
And
I don't.
personally, I think it works. Yeah, I think at the very best, it softens the blow.
Okay.
And I think that for me, I think personally, it's something that I'm able to do because I feel like I'm still able to process my feelings about a breakup and all of what I'm feeling, even if I'm in something else with somebody else. So I don't know, like it doesn't really stop me from processing my feelings and healing and all of that. If anything, I think it even shows me more parts of myself that I need to heal. So yeah, I don't know. Personally, it
Okay.
works for me. So.
Okay.
Okay, I was saying it's not like I actively go in search for people to get under just to get over somebody else.
Okay.
But I just feel like the universe is sends people your way. I'm sorry. It's like they see you with a breakup, it's like, oh, okay, like, why should I not why should I stop myself from being happy? I gotta be happy and crying at the same time. Why would I
I
choose
get
just
you.
tears? So yeah,
I get
what
you,
would
sir.
be
Me is to let the things like get over the things that happened in the previous one before you do anything.
your?
Get to spend time by yourself. Get
Mhm,
to know yourself. I think for me, yeah, this is what this see all those things I didn't do before. This is what this one
mhm,
year is this year is for me being by myself.
mhm,
So yeah,
mhm,
I've done the whole sleeping with people to
mhm,
get over somebody and it didn't work for me. I was just
mhm,
carrying pain. Like I never processed. You know, like when you are alone, yeah, that's when
mhm.
you get to experience the pain fully. Yeah, like
Right.
but since I don't have anything to maybe get like sleeping with somebody now to reduce the bill,
Mhm,
yeah, it's kind of like
mhm,
harder when you do it that way.
mhm,
But eventually you
mhm.
get over it. Yeah. So
And
that's what me I'll say.
fair enough. I mean, I think everybody, people should do. Obviously, I think it's important, like what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding everything and dealing with it, healing, all of that stuff. But
But
I
it doesn't
feel
mean
I
that
find that
I feel like if they still want to sleep with somebody, that's their choice. It's just like not
yeah,
wanting to have that commitment too
oh
soon
yeah,
after I break up.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure, for sure. I just find that for me, like one doesn't really stop me from doing the other.
Okay.
So like I'm able to do both. Like I'm not going to like neglect my feelings or ignore anything that I feel. Like I will still process my feelings and deal with everything that I'm dealing with and decide, okay, this is what I want to do.
These are like final questions for you
Okay.
to end the podcast. Okay, so what are you grateful for in this moment?
I'm grateful for love. I know that sounds weird, but I find that
No, it's not weird.
on my hardest days is when I find that it's the love that I receive from people in my life that gets me going. So I'm always grateful for that.
Okay. So, what is life teaching you right now?
Patience
Okay.
with myself, with people, and that it's okay to change your mind based on new information.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, what are you more intentional about right now in your life?
Making sure that people around me never doubt that they are loved by me. Even when I'm upset at them, even when I'm mad, even when I'm angry, making sure that they never doubt my love for them, and I express my feelings in a way that they don't doubt that love.
Understood. Okay. So, pick a moment in your life that you can go back to speak to yourself. What would you say?
What would I say? Don't do things for the plots. Like it's cute sometimes, but you know, don't always do things for the plot. 'Cause I feel like I've been doing shit for the plot a lot. But also it's okay to walk away from things. It's okay to be the bad guy in people's story. Like everybody will be alright. It's okay to block your exes and say they can go to fucking hell. Because sometimes they need to go to
Mm-hmm.
hell. So yeah.
Understood. Okay. So, how do you intend this year to end for you?
And in money.
Yeah.
That's it. I feel like I want more clarity on
Mm-hmm.
everything in life, really, like career wise, relationship wise.
Okay.
I hope that the year ends with more clarity and all of that. So, yeah.
Okay. So, what is one thing you wish everyone was conscious about or more intentional about?
Unlearning our trauma. That's
Okay.
what I mean. Yeah, just learning our trauma and working towards being better. right? Because that's the only way we can be
Okay.
better to ourselves, to people in our lives, and just, yeah,
True. Understood. Okay. So, what is quality time to you? Can you describe what you do or what it feels like for you?
quality time, as long as we are like, so whether it's FaceTime or a call or we're in the same space together, as long as it feels safe and happy, like we might not even be doing anything or saying anything. Quality time is just knowing that you're present and we're
Okay.
safe. We both feel safe in that moment. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So leave a message for yourself in 10 years time.
there's a message for myself. Still, that's tough. That's tough. Whatever you do, make sure you're happy and you're not doing
Okay.
shit for the yeah.
Okay. So that brings us to the end of this recording. I had fun. Thank you for coming
Thank
on
you.
this podcast to talk about
I
love
would.
and relationships. It
Mhm.
was lovely to have you.
It was my pleasure being here. Thank you. Looking forward to listening back when everything
Okay.
is ready.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.